What's going on? Hey, Black, how are you? I'm trying to get TikTok on. I already have an account. I wanted to talk to you guys about Q2, quarter two, whatever it is. Some things that some people that we did, some things that we didn't get a chance to do, and um, help us to move forward this month or this coming quarter. Okay, here it is. It's having problems. Log in onto both devices. Here we are. So many screens open. All right, so for those of you who are joining, let me know where you're watching me from. Hey there, how are you? Let me know where you're watching me from. I said I was going to go live, and I had a little bit of technical difficulties, but here we are. And hey, Florida. I'll be in your area soon. Okay. All right. All right. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Sean, aka the Savvy Business Chick. And back in 2006, next year will be my 20-year mark. Back in 2006, I started the home care agency. My first home care agency started that. A skilled home care agency, and my first was in the state of Maryland with a pediatric niche. And within 2 years, grew my home care business to a 7-figure revenue home care business with just 13 clients. With just 13 clients, grew my home care business to 7 figures, around 2.3 million in revenue. And I had a mentor who helped me get started. I had a mentor who took her time to explain things to me, which is one of the reasons why I try to take my time to explain things to you guys, because this is a very tight-lipped industry, meaning people talk, but they don't really say too much, right? They don't really say too much. They don't really share. So with that being said, I try to do my best to share what's going on. So I wanted to talk to you tonight about Q2. You don't know what Q2 means. It's quarter two. I want to talk to you tonight about Q2. So we are on the last day of quarter two, right? We had January, February, March, quarter one, and then we had April, May, June, Q2, quarter two. So first, let me find out, if you're an existing business owner, give me the number 1. If you're an existing home care business owner, give me the number 1. Existing home care business owner, give me the number 1. And if you are an aspiring home care business owner, give me the number 2. Existing business owner, give me the number 1. Aspiring business owner, give me the number 2. Okay. Great. So for those of you who are in business, then this talk is going to really be more beneficial to you. But for those of you who said, I'm number two, I want to get into this industry and And I want to learn everything I need to learn about it before I get started because I want to avoid costly mistakes. I want to, when I make my exit, I want to be the best home care agency I can be. And so, with that being said, um, at the end of every quarter, and we really should have done it before the very last day, we need to do a CEO check, right? We need to do a check with the president of the company. And please forgive me, I have Instagram right here, and I have TikTok right here, and I have YouTube up here. We need to do a check. So, first, I want to ask those of you who are in business, who are business owners, tell me about your, you know, quarter two. Tell me about your April, May, June. Can you say that your home care agency did pretty good in Q2? Meaning you were able to build your business, you got some clients this quarter, maybe not as much as you wanted to, but you did have some growth in your business. If you can honestly say I've had some growth, maybe not as much as I want to, maybe you will drop an emoji and say, um, that's me. That's me. Thank you so much. Do you know about mobile wound care clinics? Tonight we're talking about home care and home health care. So it's important. Well, first of all, if you did not even set a goal, you would not even know if you reached your quarter two goals. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about this evening is that you also need to set a goal. So you need to set your intentions, and of course, you need to set your goal for the next quarter. So then, what is the next quarter going to look like? We should be reviewing quarter two goals. Quarter two goals, you would have said, I'm going to be doing X, Y, Z, and then all of your plans towards those goals should be executed. So here are some of the questions I have for you, existing home care business owners. Okay, so you said on Instagram, not good. Private pay clients were finicky. Where are you located again? Private pay clients were finicky. Thank you so much for sharing that. So the questions you should ask yourself at the end of every quarter, because you should have a 12-month goal, Illinois, 12-month goals, and then these should be broken down by quarter. This is how you will know by the end of the year if you are going to be on target to making the income that you said you wanted to make. Okay. They say thanks so much for joining. So the first question you should be asking yourself before the end of the quarter even happens is, number one, did you reach your quarter goals? Tonight we're talking about quarter two. So did you reach your quarter two goals? Number one. Number two, you want to ask yourself, you're asking yourself, you put on your CEO hat. Let's say if you have a business partner, then you should be having a meeting where you're going over your reports, going over your balance sheet, and you want to know, did you actually not balance sheet yet? You want to also know, did you generate consistent leads? A lot of people don't even have a system where they can track getting, how their leads came through. I know a lot of people ask me, oh, Sean, what CRM system do you use? Now, whether you use paper or you have a CRM system that's separate or infused into your home care software, you should be tracking. You should know if you're generating consistent leads. This goes back to if you have a referral pipeline. We talked about that last week. Okay. And so then you want to know if any of those leads converted to a paying client. Any of those leads converted into a paying client. So if you're taking notes, I'm giving you your survey. You can do a self-survey, right? You can do the self-survey. So again, did you reach your quarter 2 goals? Now, if you did not have any quarter 2 goals, it's going to be yes or no. Yes or no, or it's going to be blank because you don't have that. Did you generate consistent leads? Now, we just want to answer that question plainly. Did you generate consistent leads? Because you generating consistent leads has to do with your marketing activity. And for right now, we're just going to put yes or no, because we're smart, we're presidents of companies, or we are CEOs, and we know the definition of consistent, right? We know the definition of consistent. So did you generate consistent leads? Next, did you convert those leads into paying clients, right? So generate consistent leads actually has to do with your marketing. It's a telltale sign of your marketing. Did you convert those leads into paying clients? That has to do with your sales. That has to do with your sales strategy. Did you convert those into paying clients? Yes or no? Right now, we're just answering yes or no. And then lastly, do you have systems in place, or are you just kind of like winging it when it comes to your operations? Okay, so those are the questions you want to ask yourself. And guys, I don't normally make this a big deal, but tonight, because I'm sharing and I'm getting you, we're exiting quarter 2 and we're entering into quarter 3. Do me a favor and give me some hearts. I have here on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube. This helps our business get out, get more visibility. And again, we know, you know, as well as I know, there are a lot of people who need to know this information. They're searching on Google, they're searching on YouTube University, they're searching in Facebook groups. And this is the information that is not being shared. This is the information that is not being told. And so for free, I'm not charging you what I'm going to be sharing tonight. All you have to do is support my page by giving some hearts or sharing the broadcast. I'll give you a second to do that. So we always start with an evaluation. So and here's an example. Like last month, I did something different with my social media campaign. And did I meet my goal? So one of my goals was posting no less than 20 times a day. Yes, I actually met my goal, because one of my goals was to post no less than 20 times a day, right? 2 or more posts, right? But did those posts, give me the kind of visibility, engagement that I wanted? And I would have to say, well, not really. So then if I didn't get the results that I wanted from my goal, then what I'm going to do when I go into the next month or the next quarter, I'm going to change it up. And so with those questions that I gave you, I want you to be asking yourself, now, what do I need to change? what do I need to change? So that is a personal question you're going to ask yourself. What do I need to change as I go into quarter three? The quarter three is really, really important for us as home health care business owners. Quarter three is July, August, and September. The reason why quarter three is important is because July is a beginning of most states' fiscal year. If you guys are following me, let me know by typing fiscal year in the comments. Thank you so much for the continued parts on TikTok. You guys always understand the assignment. If you're following me, I want you to put fiscal year in the comments so I can make sure you guys understand what I'm talking about. Now, if you don't know what fiscal year means and you want me to give you a little bit understanding, let me know again in the comments. Let me see if I can close out my as we can cast here. Fiscal year. Thank you. I see fiscal year. I see fiscal year. I don't see it yet on YouTube. So the fiscal year for most states always starts in July. In the month of July, states now they're going to be having some changes because as up until now, they were running off of last year's budget. But now they're going to be going off of this year's budget. So this year's budget, whether you want to look at it as 2025 to 2026, this year's budget is now officially going to be affected by some of the things that's going on in Congress. So over the past couple of months, your state probably has been trying to figure out how it's going to respond to potential cuts or just some changes in some of the programs. And so this is why this quarter is really pivotal for your business. Number one, quarter one and quarter two, you really should have been building. Quarter one and quarter two, you really should have been building. That way, quarter three, you're kind of like sustaining. But because of the marketplace and there being some uncertainty in the marketplace, we're now having to take quarter three and continue to build. So usually quarter three for me, at least for my home care business, was a time to rest and relax, right? It was a time to play catch up. It was a time to give some of my staff a break. Why? Because the fall is our high marketing season. The fall is our high marketing season. And if you guys have ever heard me say that in the past, that the fall is our high marketing season, give me a, let me know in the comments. If you've heard me say, if you've heard me say that before, you can put yes. You can put Y for yes. If you've heard me say that before, you can put N for no if you've never heard that before. Fall is our high marketing season. If you've ever heard me say that, or let's just say you've heard that before, period. Okay. Boss Mom said no. Yes. Okay. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing. So the fall is the home care industry's high season because this is where most home care agencies generate a lot of business. We generate a lot of business in the fall months. And so when you're in Q3, if you have a well-established business, and like I said, you did a good job in Q1, Q1, Q2, you can technically take a break in Q3, at least July, August, right? Like I said, I used to call it my catch-up month. But now we're going to have to be working on generating more sales in the summer because of the uncertainty in the marketplace. So in the fall months, you have seniors who during the summer changes, or actually, let me put it like this, during the fall, a lot of changes occur in that person's health condition, right? It's something about the fall, especially if you live in like some of the colder states where seniors seem to decline. People are more lonely in the fall to holiday season. So more people need more eyes and ears on seniors. And some seniors whose family doesn't live close by, they're not really visiting their parents in the fall because of school, because of so many reasons. So the fall, the need is higher. The need for care becomes so much higher. And like I said, if you've been following me for any period of time, it is one of the most ripest time to market your business, where I would say at least 80, I'll just say 80 to 85% of my of my mentees who start in the fall, meaning they got licensed in the fall, their chances of getting a client shortly after getting licensed is about 85%. Meaning if they go out, do the marketing strategies that we teach in our programs, getting a client becomes easy. Getting the client becomes easy. Hey, Coach E, how are you? I know I owe you something. I'll get it to you tonight. You got me with that 30 seconds. Okay. But with that being said, so now anything you guys have been looking at in the news and you're wondering, Sean, is that going to affect my home care business? Sean, is that going to affect my home care business? Well, we don't know yet because usually those things won't be published officially until the end of August or September. So what you have to do now is work smart, meaning that those changes are coming, but also work hard at the same time. Well, Sean, that doesn't make any sense. You're working hard because this is supposed to be a chill season. Summer is supposed to be a chill season, but you don't. I could do 3 minutes, okay, but I don't. I'm advising you not to chill. I'm advising you that this is a good time, that when other home care agencies are being frantic, or have anxiety, are worried about the outcome that could or could not happen with the swipe of a pen of 47 or whatever the Senate is going to approve, that you need to be working harder on generating revenue, diversifying your home care business. Okay. So this is not a time to chill. Everybody got that? If you got that, put that in the comments. This is not a time to chill like it has been in the past. Okay, yeah, just so you know, it's not a time to chill. Everybody got that? Put that in the comments. And that's why if you didn't do that much, or you didn't do that well in quarter one and quarter two, then you're going to really need to be in that grind mode for quarter three, just so you can play catch up for what's going to happen when we hit um, the fall and holiday marketing season. So this is a time for existing home care agencies to do a thorough evaluation. So you want to know what worked and what was a waste of time. You want to know what worked and what was a waste of time. That will be another question that that you need to ask yourself to evaluate what worked and what was a waste of time. And here are some examples of some things from when I jumped on calls with people that I feel like were somewhat a waste of time, and it wasn't something that was pushing them towards money generating activities. Number one, working on your website before you have any leads. Right? I know some people that they get into the mode, they're not doing anything until their website is up. If you have thought that or did that, let's get some truth serum. Let's raise our hands, or maybe if you want to hide and you just want to do the heart. Perfecting your website before you have any leads, because let me tell you something. Having a pretty website with no traffic, with nobody coming to your website, is just it's just a digital brochure. It's just a digital brochure that, someone's not going to even see. No one's going to see that digital brochure because you're not sending anybody there. You don't have the marketing strategy to send people to your website. So that is one way that a lot of people delay success, because I'm not saying a website is unimportant, but they work on perfecting that website, and then they don't do anything else, right? Also, they make it because maybe they have a heartfelt story about how they got started in home care. They, continuously write or rewrite the About Us page, right? And whenever I see that, I politely tell the person, I love the story, but let that story come out in your sales conversations, right? Because sometimes, like, I was evaluating an About Us page from one of my mentees in my spring home care Kickstarter, and number one, the About Us was becoming really, really long, and secondly, the About Us was becoming about her, right? It was becoming too personal. And that's just not what we need to be doing in the business setting. And it did not leave a good feeling in the brand message, right? It wasn't anything that we felt like, oh, that made me feel warm and fuzzy. It had like a morbid part about it. It had like a part about it that was like, yeah, and because of this, now that's why I'm in home care. And I was like, this story has let's turn the story into, and this is why we provide this type of care. And so after I shared that advice with her, she made that change. But initially, she was just like, rewriting the About Us page. Then some people have so many pages on their website that they're not even using, or again, just really making a big deal about the website. Uh, if you can, I would love for everyone to have a blog page on their website. If you have a blog page on your website, this is essentially going to send more traffic to your website. I talk about this in my training, how to use blogs to increase your SEO. In my home care business summer program, we have given our my summer mentees 10 blog post topics that are specific for um, the summer months, things that seniors will be dealing with over the summer months, right? We gave them 10 topics. That means they're going to be having a blog once a week for the rest of the summer. So that's taking that training, and now we are executing on it, because once a week they're going to have that content. So we're just wrapping things up. It's a part of our acceleration, right? Right. But some people have that page on their website, but they're not even using it. So that's why I said sometimes you're doing things, and I know you have a big vision, and I love that, and I would never want to discourage you on that. But sometimes you have that, but you're not utilizing it. And I'd rather see you utilize something small than to wait for the spectacular, right? And then, and then lastly, on the website, making sure it's perfect. People really spend a lot of time obsessing on the colors and the fonts. And all these things should have really been decided on early on when you came up with your brand colors, your brand message. And let me just say, I've had people say, yeah, I'm still working on my website. So if that's you, as we go into quarter 3, which starts tomorrow, let's give a deadline to how many times we're going to update it before we publish it. Because I can tell you from personal experience, I updated my home care business website 4 times, updated my logo 2 times. Resist perfection. Allow your business to grow into the brand. Like if you even look at how many times Nike has updated its logo, stop putting too much pressure on yourself. Make sure you're listening. I know your golf course starts in September. Will there be any specific date posted? Yes, when it's starting. Yes. Right now, people are doing for the fall home care Kickstarter. To answer your question, people are already starting on the payment plan. You need a mentor. How can you join me? Are you currently in business, or are you starting a business or growing a business? Okay, so that was number 1. All right, and so here's my mentor tip for the website. And please forgive me if I'm going through this a little slowly. I need you guys to get this. You don't need perfect branding to get your first private pay client, right? Whatever you got to do, let's write that down. I don't need perfect branding to get my first private pay client. I don't need perfect branding to get my, okay, and then you would join a home care Kickstarter. Let's put that in the comment. I don't need perfect branding to get my first private pay client. You don't. I got my first private pay client without a website. I got my first private pay client without a nice brochure. I'm not saying you don't need all those things. I want you to have all these things. Believe me, I do. But if you're waiting for that, I want you to stop in quarter three. Okay? All right. Did we put that up there? I don't need perfect branding to get my first private pay client. Did we put that in the comments? I'm looking for it. I wanna see that you guys are following me, and because we're on social media, I can't tell if we're connecting. So I know that we're connecting by your responses. So if you're not responding, I can't tell if you are grasping this, right? There is a scripture that says, "In all thy getting, get an understanding." I want to make sure you're getting it, because for some of you, it's like I have to update your programming. I have to update your software. You know how, like, if you have an iPhone and it'll say, okay, the new software is it's out. It's going to fix these bugs. It's going to change this. It's going right. This is what we have to do as we go into quarter three. We have to update the software. We have to update the software because, I know you guys are, looking for all of the answers, right? And so sometimes a lot of misinformation creeps. Thank you so much. All right. Next, you are constantly consuming training, lives, YouTube videos, whatever it is, but you're not implementing. I'll go back over it again. Let's say you watch 5 YouTube videos, you binge watch. I can't tell you how many people tell me, I've watched all of your videos. And I'm like, great, I really, really appreciate it. You're watching all of the videos. You watch my videos, you watch Coach Michelle videos, you watch Carl's videos. You watch all of the videos, then you join the Facebook groups. You're absorbing content. Some of you have done training or coaching with some people. A lot of you do that, and then you say, oh, like I had this guy contact me last Thursday, because you guys know I do free calls on Thursdays. And he said he was currently in a mentorship program. I think they're called Home Care Bosses or something like that. And he said, I just started. And I said, okay. So I'm like, why are you contacting me? You just started. Well, I just want to see what you offer. And you know what? I feel bad for that mentor, that coach, because I feel like he's not really even giving them a chance. Like, because he's continuing to binge watch, he's not really giving them a chance. Do I know what I bring to the table as a successful home care business mentor? Absolutely. But I would still want you to give, if you paid your money, and give that company, give that coach, give that consultant a chance, right? But some of you aren't making money. You're not making revenue. This is number 2 that's stopping you from generating any money, honey, bread, Fred, is that you are constantly consuming content, training, but never implementing. And that is opposite of what a CEO does. A CEO, the president of the company, executes. They execute. You binge watch other coaches on YouTube. You replay training session. You get every free or low cost training. But guess what? You don't take any action. Let's be honest. You don't take any action. You don't take any action because there's still a part here that doesn't believe that. You might believe that worked for you, but I don't think it's going to work for me. But you still love to hear me talk, but you still, you got my notifications turned on, you got somebody else's notification turned on, and it's like you're addicted to hearing how people can be successful, but you haven't bought into you being successful. So you don't implement. Or even if you implement, you don't do it all the way. Like one of my mentees, he told me, hey, Sean, I went out and I passed out 3,000 flyers. I was very impressed, very proud of him saying, well, no, I passed 3,000 flyers. Some of you, they'll say, yeah, I want to go pass out flyers. I said, oh, okay, how many pass out? 25, 50, 75. Well, I didn't really want to give them my flyers because I didn't want them to waste it. And I'm like, what's the point of you marketing? What's the point of you marketing? Have you ever been to the club back in the day and they give you those little flyers as soon as they get out the club? People would drop that little flyer, and the street would be covered. I know, at least in DC, the street would be covered with those little flyers. But guess what? That's when people see about flyers back in the day. Guess what? Somebody looked at it quick enough to say, okay, I need to be here next week by 10 p.m. if I want to get in for free. This is not a hobby, people. This is a business. Okay? So constantly consuming content, constantly watching trainings, watching lives, YouTube binging, it's definitely affecting you from making money. And some of you need to decide as you go into quarter 3 if you need to either exit some Facebook groups or just not go into them for the first 30 days of this, because some of them are very negative. There are people in there talking about what they've done and how they're not being successful. And you really need to be around like-minded people who are positive, who are going to give you positive feedback. So many people out here giving constructive criticism, and nobody's in construction. Like they're not even in construction. They in demolition. They doing more tearing down than they are building up. Okay. All right, here is number 3, what I've seen hinder people from generating any kind of revenue in their business. And we're talking about existing businesses. And that is doing marketing without a strategy. I hear it all the time. Doing marketing without a strategy, seeing what other people have done and just say, okay, I'm going to do that too. Doing marketing without a strategy looks like posting random caregiver quotes, you'll post on social media. Your post won't have a caption. Your post won't have a call to action. Your post won't geotag where your agency is located. Your post doesn't do anything to tell the person, hey, so if you're interested in this company, in this business, here's what you can do. It doesn't give them next steps, right? Again, go back to when we talked about goals. You're doing marketing. Maybe you are posting every day, but you don't have a goal to what you're doing. Maybe you pay somebody on Fiverr to create some social media posts for you. And you don't really have a goal, but I do want to commend you and appreciate you for at least posting. But posting without a goal is a clear indication that you don't have a strategy. And not having a strategy is we might as well say that's playing checkers, guys. That's not playing chess. We know when we play checkers, we're jumping all over the place, right? We can only move but so much, right? So we want to play chess. This is a game of chess. We want to make strategic moves, right? And we want to be able to move people off the board, right? We want to make strategic moves, right? So doing marketing without a strategy, whether that's online marketing, your social media, thank you so much for the hearts, online marketing with social media, or doing your in-person marketing, you need a strategy. You need to write down your goals. You need your strategy. You need a strategy, and you need to know what kind of results you are expecting to get from that. Everybody follow me? Now, I wish one of my mentees was up here. I would tease her a little bit. But here's another reason why some of you are not generating any business, any sales, any leads. You're too busy organizing instead of operating. Some of you are alphabetizing your forms when you don't even have a referral list. You don't have an understanding of your referral sources. And I mean, your referral sources don't even know you exist, but you're buying home care software. Now, I'm okay with you demoing home care software, but you're buying the home care software. You're creating a bill. And you haven't even gone out and done any marketing yet. You're organizing instead of operating. Now, a lot of you that come from a corporate background, I totally understand. You want efficiency, you want to be efficient, you want structure. And again, I'm not telling you to not do these things. I'm just saying there is a time and place to do that. So if you're just starting out and you have no client referrals, if you have no clients, the time for you to have organized those things was when you were waiting for your license, not after your license. The time to organize and alphabetize things is not when you're already licensed. It's you could have did that while you were waiting for your license. People ask me all the time, "Sure, what can I be doing while I'm waiting for my license?" You could be doing that. If you're organized, if you're very detailed, if you want things in decency and order, again, I have no problem with this. And please remember, I'm saying all this in love because I want you to get out of your own way. And I don't want you to waste time on things that's not essentially growing your business. If you think about some of these things I've mentioned so far, you even if you're not doing them, you have to wonder, like, what will make someone, or even you can say, what will make me delay my success, right? What will make me delay my success by spending time on things that are not money generating activities? I agree. I asked for a delayed bill. I'm not paying for software I'm not even using. Exactly. Okay. Now this next one goes back to me talking about the website. Okay. Some of you are waiting on business cards. You're waiting for your logo to get completed. You're waiting for these things, and you're not going out to market your business because you're waiting on your business card. So I had a mentee in Richmond, and she got a little bit upset with me because um, my graphics person, her husband passed away. So some of her graphics, she's in my licensing program. So my licensing program is a little bit different from my home care Kickstarter program. So we provide, graphics we provide a marketing package for those mentees. With that being said, we did not have business cards for her. This is what we were giving her for that particular program. 2 customized brochures, 2 customized flyers, door hanger design, 2 customized door hanger designs, social media templates, and what else? Oh, and we gave her website content, right? Because we want to go over how some of your service descriptions are just horrible. So basically a detail of how you should be doing your whole website, your service descriptions, and it was one other thing. Sorry, I'm having a little brain fog, right? So business cards were not included. Sean, why were business cards included? And a logo. So I feel like it was like 7 things for right now, right? So she got a little bit upset with me because even though we said that business cards were included, a business card, like I said, this is just my personal opinion as a owner and marketer. A business card doesn't necessarily tell the person you're marketing to contact Sean, right? Because I don't want that person to know me more than they know my company. Does that make any sense to you guys? So there's other tools that we use to highlight the company when we're going out, and I don't want to divert into like a marketing strategy or something that I use. We highlight the company more than we highlight ourselves. If you get into promoting yourself more, I could tell you what case managers tell me they do with business cards. They don't keep them. They don't keep them. You'll be better off having a pen with your company information. You want people to keep your information, give them a pen. But that's a whole other thing, right? So that I just threw that tip in. So some people, they're waiting on business cards. I already mentioned before, some people are waiting on their website. They're waiting on business cards. They're waiting on logos, right? Again, these are things that you should have been working on. If you're an existing home care business, you should be working on these things while you're waiting on your license. You should not be waiting till after your license to be like, oh, now I'm licensed and now I'm going to start working on my business cards. You're actually delaying time that you're from getting your first client. Marketing does not happen overnight, guys. You have to build up to these referral sources. So essentially, these things are making you hold off on doing any kind of marketing or outreach in the community because you're waiting for your business card to be approved. And then you go into that perfectionism thing again with the websites. I got to look a certain kind of way, and only for it to say owner or president or CEO. And I've told you guys before that people don't essentially want to do business with the president or CEO. If you guys don't know why, even my mentor told me, don't tell them you're the owner. Don't tell them you're the president. People don't want to do business with the owner or the CEO. And if you can't wrap your mind around why somebody wouldn't want to help your business, it's because they feel like, oh, well, I'm just giving you all of this clients to make, they like, essentially it's the weirdest thing, but they don't want to They rather help a company than help a person. That's the best way I can explain it. And they feel like they're directly helping you, then you're going to get some resistance, but it'll be a lot better if you're helping the company. Okay. So you're delaying going to network events because you don't have these business cards, and it's just not helping you with any business. Oh, thanks, Nurse Jordan. Okay. Let's say you are starting to attend events, right? Again, these kind of things happen a lot more in the fall than they do in the summertime. But I have recently been on LinkedIn, and I've seen a lot of senior communities, a lot of different senior communities and assisted living communities host events, right? So let's say you go to a networking event. Number one, you don't go with a goal because you don't have a marketing strategy, and you don't follow up. That is essentially going to affect your money generating activities. You got to follow up. Following up is an essential part of growing your business, of growing your leads and turning them into sales. If you know that you have to follow up, give me the number 1. If you don't know how to follow up, give me the number 2. I got a 1. I got a 2. Anybody else? Okay. 1. Okay. 1. Okay. You got to follow up. Following up is an important part of your marketing strategy. Since you said 2, you didn't know you have to follow up. There are different time periods of following up. And let me break it down. I'll break it down like this with, because we have so much more to go over, and I don't have as much time to teach, right? So if you went to a networking event, there's a certain period of time that you need to follow up after you met someone at an event or conference, right? If you went to go do a drop off, where you went to a facility and you dropped off some of your information, there's a certain period of time that you need to do a follow-up with the individual you're trying to reach. If you did a phone call, right, and you left a voicemail, or you actually did speak to someone, there's a certain period of time you need to do a follow-up. Most of the time, you're either not doing a follow-up, or your time frame is so much further along. So 2 of my mentees in the home care business summer program, they were telling me on Thursday, this last Thursday, that they spoke with 2 people in the community, and one of them said, well, they said they were going to call me back, so I'll wait for them to call me back, right? So I guess she didn't want to come across pushy or salesy. And I said, nope, call her back tomorrow. So soon? Yeah, because I'm trying to get on their calendar for July. Another one of my mentees posted in a WhatsApp group earlier. She made calls this morning and didn't get a response back. She called back again, and then she was able to get on that facility's calendar in the month of July. When I tell you guys, this is both the month to work smarter and harder. I need for all of us who are home care business owners to listen and just know that I'm honestly just trying to give you good advice. There's a fortune in following up. Absolutely. So this is our reason number 6 why you are not generating business. You have you're not following up. Okay. Networking without nurturing the relationship is it equals, it results in nothing, right? So that's why we're going to have to work on, in the month of July, you getting out of your head with doing things. Because some of you, especially my females, we got to put it out there for my female business owners. We're too much in our head. Oh, what are they going to think? What if they think I sound stupid? Oh, what if I say this and then they laugh? Like, I don't know why we come up with these. Hey, Renita, how are you? I don't know why we come up with these scenarios, and it's preventing us from moving forward. But if you've ever done that, let me know. If you've ever got in your head where you almost like talked yourself out of doing something that you know that you needed to do, let me know in the comments below. Just say me. Being honest here. Hey, Renita. Don't forget to get on my calendar. Guys, I was talking to you guys about one of my mentees. She's here on she's on TikTok, has a skilled agency, and they have about 27 clients in 6 months. They've gotten 27 clients. Hey, from Akaki. Right? All right, number 7. All right. And this kind of went back to the previous one. 3 months. Oh, okay. 3 months. Oh, let me see. All right. I'll try to see if I can bring you up. Okay, excuse me, guys. She got 27 months. 3 months. Because we follow the strategy. Did you get my invitation, Renita? You might be busy. And I want her to get on the calendar with me because it's something I know about a skilled agency in the summertime. So if she's able to get on, you'll hear her say it herself. But for those of you on YouTube and on Instagram, one of my mentees here on TikTok, I was sharing how she has gotten 27 clients. I said 6 months. She just said 3 months. All right. Constantly updating policies and instead of implementing them. Constantly updating policies instead of implementing them, right? Because we need to, our policies, we need to use for 3 reasons, right? Always say we have our licensure policies. We use those licensure policies to get licensed, right? We keep them in a nice binder. We keep them for a survey prep, right? And then in my home care Kickstarter program, we teach you how to come up with like a cheat sheet to keep your agency in compliance, and even like a cheat sheet for doing annual review of your policies and procedures. After you've done that, again, these are things you can be doing while you're waiting for your license. I always encourage my mentees to develop this little grid that I actually got from a Medicare surveyor. Develop this little grid, right? And then you have time to do that, right? Develop this grid. Oh, go to bed early. Go ahead. I understand. Take care. Take care. Thank you so much. Yeah, please get on my calendar this month. Um, so the but so you have your licensure policies. You need to have a way that you're going to be stay in compliance, and then you have operational policies, which you will pull some of the requirements from your licensure policies to develop operating policies, or what we call SOPs. And then lastly, you have your systems. So that's the 3 stages. You have your licensure policies, you have your SOPs, and then you have your systems. Okay? Hi, go get some rest. Get some rest, okay? Thanks, Renita. So if you have been updating policies, putting them in different font, printing them out, on color paper, whatever you're doing to waste time, instead of implementing them, you're tweaking the admissions package. Now, again, as we start to operate in our business more, we understand, okay, I want to do this now. It's a little bit different now. But constantly doing that and not doing any kind of business is not generating any revenue is a big no-no. Okay. Now, number 8, and you guys are going to be a little bit upset with me, but it's the truth. Some of you are hiring staff with no clients lined up. Hiring staff with no clients lined up. You are hiring caregivers, but they have no one to care for. You're hiring caregivers, but you have no one for them to care for. You're so concerned about not having the caregiver for when you start marketing that you overdo it with the recruitment, and then you're already scared to market, that when you finally get out to market, you're surprised when the caregiver is unavailable. You're like surprised. You're even mad when they're not available. These things need to be done at the same time. Your recruitment and your marketing need to be done at the same time. I'm different from other people. I am not going to tell you that it's okay, especially if you're first starting out, to do a whole bunch of recruitment first without any marketing. Should I be looking for clients before I get licensed? You can't. How can you look for clients before you get licensed? All you can do is set up a marketing strategy. Okay? So if you've been hiring staff with no clients lined up, you have been kind of wasting some time. And again, your mindset is probably you're operating out of fear because you don't want to be embarrassed. And if you tell the client, well, I don't have anyone right now to start. And I, like I said, I'm wondering, where are you getting these stories from where you feel like that's going to happen to you? It's up here. Your first focus, again, this is me. I'm a different kind of mentor. I'm a different kind of person. Your first focus should be on getting cases. Your first focus should be on getting cases. Get those cases. Start the marketing process. Marketing does not happen overnight. Okay. Number 9, we probably won't be able to get through everything else I have on this sheet tonight. So I'll try to do a live around lunchtime tomorrow. Overcomplicating your price. Overcomplicating your price. How many of you can honestly say you have a clear fee schedule and price structure for your business? How many can honestly say you have a clear fee schedule? I said licensure policy, SOP, and operating in your systems. No, thanks, Renita. Thanks. All right. Sorry. Oops. What's happened? Sorry. Okay. Oh, okay. I was asking a question. Still working on service fees. Basic care is covered for a day and holiday. Okay. Anybody else have a clear fee schedule? For a lot of agencies, you have to submit your fee schedule with your application. You got to have a clear fee schedule. Yeah, you can. They can be under your agency. You can't provide the service though. You need a clear fee schedule. Your fee schedule is associated with your services. Now, that's a whole nother thing because most people don't have clear services. But your fee schedule should say what the rate is, if there's a different rate for nighttime, if there's a different rate for weekends, what's the holiday rate. You need to have a clear fee schedule. And what happens is that if you get a client and you're having a conversation with them across the table, right? And they're ready to sign up with you, the pricing is complicated. It literally sounds like you're making stuff up. And that's not good for sales. It's not good for sales if it sounds like you're making stuff up, right? If someone is asking, well, what's your rate for this? What's your fees for this? And it takes you 15 minutes to explain it, you're not ready to sell. You're not doing a really good job at selling, which is something that you really need to do once you get that lead that's hot. Uh, then some of you who are new business owners and you're working the case, let's be honest, some of you are basing the rate off of your bills, what bills you got to pay, and or what you can do right now, right? Well, I can accept this right now. And so you make accommodations because it's your first client. So I totally understand. I charge my client, my first client, um, maybe $5, $7, above Medicaid. I should have charged more, but I never had problems with that 24-hour client. And they brought me in over $23,000 a month. That one client. I had them for 8, 9 years. I was happy with that. But not being able to simplify your rate because you don't have a fee schedule is going to definitely not make you sound confident, and then it's going to make your agency sound shady. You get stuck on calculating the math of how much it's going to cost, and then because you lack the confidence, you'll start comparing yourself to other agencies, which is what we don't do. No, I help both. You only teach on licensed and not non-licensed agencies. I don't even understand that question. Why would I teach on non-licensed agencies? There are 4 or 5 states where you don't need a license. I understand your question. All right, last one, because I feel like I've been kind of talking too long, but this is like I want this to be a little bit of a wake-up call for you guys. The last one, last reason why you're not generating, or you did not generate money, revenue at the beginning of this year and last quarter, you're relying on one payment source. Some of you started out, as soon as you got licensed, you went to go apply for Medicaid. Don't have a problem with that. Some of you found out Medicaid is not all what it's cracked up to be. The rate is low. The reimbursement is low. In some states, it's taking a longer time to get approved. In other states, you're on a waiting list, right? So most people go after Medicaid for the waiver programs, or Medicaid for the MCOs. I had a young lady reach out. She posted a message on my YouTube channel, and she was very distraught about Connecticut. And I could, even though it was a text, I said, I could hear in her voice how frustrated she was. And I said, well, send me an email. She sent me a detailed email. She was like, I just don't understand why it's taking so long for me to get credentialed in Connecticut. I wish there was another credentialing company. They are basically taking me through the hoops just to get approved. Now, we had that happen to another mentee of ours. It's a doctor that he lives in New York, but he started an agency in Connecticut. And initially, Connecticut Medicaid told us over the phone, oh, it'll only take 3 months. It's taken well over 9 months to get approved. In states like Georgia, you can't even apply for Medicaid until you've been in business for, you've been in business for at least 9 months. If you're putting all your eggs into the Medicaid basket, you're doing the opposite of what I teach or encourage you to do, and that's diversify. I know you probably say, well, Sean, private pay is hard. It's not hard to get, but it does take a strategy. Private pay clients aren't hard to get, but they take a strategy. You can't just go out and eeny, meeny, miny, mo on a private pay client. It does take a strategy to get that private pay client. So if you haven't generated any revenue the first part of the year or in quarter 3, you probably fall underneath one of those 10 things. Which one out of those 10 things can you identify with? Let me just read it one more time. Perfecting your website, constantly consuming training but not implementing, doing marketing without a strategy, being organized but not operating, waiting on business cards, logos, brochures, attending events, doing marketing without follow-up, updating policies, forms, procedures, and implementing them, hiring staff without no clients lined up, overcomplicating your price conversation because you don't really have a sales presentation, and relying on one payment source to grow your business. Which one? Same thing in Texas is frustrating. Yeah. Which one did you hear is your it has been your crutch. Has been your crutch. Let me know which one has been your crutch. And while we are getting ready to wrap up, just a little bit of announcements for June. In June, I'm going to be starting July. I'm going to be starting the FAQ Fridays, right? I'm going to be going through some of the most common asked questions that come up in Facebook groups, that come up on my Thursday calls, that come up my Thursday calls, and some of the comments that I get on the live or from the replay. And we're going to go through systematically some of the most, some of the questions that you guys have about starting or growing your home care business and give you some clear answers. So that's something that's going to be starting in the month of July. I also I've been really thinking about doing a small series on starting a business for faith-based home care business owners with some biblical principles that's really helped me in business. So I'm trying to figure out what day I'm going to do that live on what platform. Right now we have our home care summer program going on. It's going well. And a lot of the people that are in the group, they're implementing them. They're implementing these things and starting to get the results. So, okay, you guys, updates from it's great. So this could be you. Remember, this could be you. This could be your business results. Thanks for the hearts. What I asked a question on YouTube. What's the best state that has the best profit markets? You would say. No, so many states. There's so many states. That's kind of a hard question. Oh wow, thank you. So with that being said, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm gonna cover some more of this tomorrow. You guys have a good night. But tomorrow is quarter 3. So let some of the things we talked about tonight be like a wake-up call for you to address these things in your business. Have a good night. Good night, guys.